Hi everybody and welcome back to the tasting room. We're sampling today a whiskey from Australia. This is Starward Twofold. Okay, so this is interesting. I've never had a whiskey from Australia before that I can remember. This one they call this one Twofold because it's a 2-grain whiskey. They're using in this one wheat and malted barley. Also noteworthy, I believe it's finished in Australian red wine barrels. Now, there's no age statement on this bottle. It is 40% alcohol, so it's just your standard 80 proof. Ooh. So on the nose here, got a full bouquet of ripe dark fruits, lots of plum, some black cherry. Very fruity though. This is just it's mainly the story of the nose here. I don't want to say a little bit one-dimensional, but I mean, again, they're not using any corn, they're not using any rye, which is those are 2 grains where you're getting a whole lot of flavor out of the grain. Wheat and barley make for a little bit more mellow whiskey. Help it to suck a lot of character out of the barrels rather than keeping a lot of character from the grains. So that's a nice pleasant nose, very fruity. Okay, here on the palate, still fruity. More some berries in this. A little bit of vanilla. As anticipated, very mellow, smooth, drinkable whiskey here. And what's kind of nice about this one here on the palate, it's again, it's still fruity, it's jammy, but it's not overly sweet. Still has that touch of dryness in there. Kind of nice. Okay, as the finish approaches, a little bit of a warmth of baking spices in there. We have, I'm going to say, a medium length finish. It doesn't have a whole ton of linger on it, but again, this is 80 proof. It's a relatively low proof, and we're talking wheat and barley. As the whiskey fades, left with it maybe a little bit of a oaky barrel char on the palate. Not bad. Okay, to rate this one here. On the nose, we found out right away this was going to, fruit was going to be the story of this one here. Did have a nice fruity nose. Smelled like it was going to be a nice mellow whiskey. Obviously the palate didn't lie. For the nose on this one, I'm going to go ahead and give it 20 points. On the palate here, again, smooth, drinkable, very mellow, had a nice mouthfeel. And it was fruity, it was jammy, but wasn't overly sweet. Had a nice hint of vanilla in there. I'm going to go ahead and give the taste on this one 21 points. Finish, we had a medium length finish. Little bit of that warmth of the baking spices coming through. I was a little bit surprised, but it was a very nice touch. I'm going to go ahead and give the finish on this one 21.5 points. And then for the overall balance, I do think that hint of spice at the end kind of saved it. I'm gonna go ahead and give the balance 22 points on this one. I thought it was a fairly consistent whiskey all throughout. The nose, the taste, the finish. You know, again, could have done with a little bit more depth of character, but I mean that is what it is. You know, I have to assume that's what they were going for with the with a wheat and barley whiskey aged in red wine barrels. So that's going to leave me with an overall score of 84.5 points for this Starward Twofold Australian whiskey. Well, that's all the time I have for you today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up or leave a comment in the comment section down below. And then, of course, if you're not already a member of my channel, go ahead and hit that button and subscribe. Then after you do, make sure you ding that little bell next to the subscribe button to make sure you get notifications of new videos that come out. New videos on the weekends, so I hope to see you here again next week, right here on The Tasting Room.